Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CBSBaltimore.com. Lynn?
I know, Reginald, we've been having so much fun with you this
Reginald
morning.
Hudlin,
The
director of Marshall.
Yeah, coming out in October.
Yes.
13th.
Yes.
Your latest movie.
My latest movie.
Isn't that cool to hear?
It's crazy. Well, you know, the funny thing is, I was in D.C. a couple of weeks ago because they were celebrating the 25th anniversary of Boomerang, which is a movie I made with Eddie Murphy and Halle Berry and Chris Rock. So I was like, God, you know, people still like this movie, and I made it 25 years ago, and I have a movie coming out this year. It just felt really good.
And you were just sitting here talking. So we're going to talk Marshall here. We're going to talk Black Panther in a second. But you were just sitting here saying that you'll binge watch movies with your kids, like I was talking about all the Marvel movies. And you started with Captain America, and you've worked your way through. You direct movies, you're in the movie business, and you still love watching them.
Well, that's the thing. That's the great thing. To have a job you love, to do your job with genuine passion. I mean, it beats working.
Yeah, it does. But sometimes, sometimes I just can't turn on the news. But you can still watch a movie and be entertained. You're not thinking about an edit or that light in the very back.
Doesn't bother you?
Well, that's the test of a movie. If I can watch the movie and forget and stop working, right? If a movie pulls me into its world and I'm just watching it and I don't have that other head going, then that movie works.
I got it.
That's a
You
good
know,
test.
sometimes that happens. I'm watching like CBS Sunday Morning, or not necessarily 60 Minutes, but like a Sunday morning, a little lighter thing. I'll sit there and get enthralled.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great description. We're making this presentation on the 26th of July. You may be logged on much later. We're talking about the movie Marshall, which is the story of a Baltimore guy who went on to become one of the most important figures in the history of the United States of America.
I always say, if we're going to add a face to the Mount Rushmore, I nominate Thurgood.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, you know, when we say with liberty and justice for all, that's a great idea. That's a great notion.
Works?
But from the very beginning of the nation, that wasn't true, right? Someone had to fight to make that true. And it wasn't one case. It was case after case after case. And that's what Thurgood Marshall did. He said, you know, these words, we're not living up to those words in the Constitution.
You were telling us on air on Coffee With that back in the day, contributions would rise and fall to the NAACP based on the success of court cases, good press or bad press. Thurgood Marshall was the hired gun attorney. I got to go in and win this case. He was a rough and tumble guy. And it carried through to his later years. Later years, he mellowed into a curmudgeon. I mean, I remember he didn't come around Baltimore a lot, but you know, once you morph into a DC legend, you kind of, you know, people tend to leave town. But when they dedicated the statue downtown on Pratt Street, right there at the courthouse, I remember he came, and I remember all of us in the press weren't too sure he thought it was a good statue.
Really? What was his reaction?
Stoic. Stoic.
Okay.
Polite.
Wow.
It was stoic and it was polite.
Does that surprise you, or does that?
No, well, here's the thing. I mean, his job was, he was in the truth business, right? And he would cut through whatever people's preconceptions are and get to the truth. And the truth isn't always pretty.
No, it's not.
But,
no, it's not.
But, you know, but his service to the country is unquestioned. And he was a fun guy. He had jokes. He was, you know, he was that kind of guy.
He was a guy.
He worked hard. He played hard. It's a guy you want to hang out with. I can imagine him and LBJ was probably a real rock and roll weekend. I gotta imagine.
You were just sitting there telling us. I'm going to bring this trailer up, and just the first. You can go ahead and take it. I'll start it when you take it. He said, "Look, this is a guy that drank. This is a guy that fought.
Bar fights.
This is a guy that smoked.
Cursed.
He was a guy."
He was a guy. And what I love when the audience sees the movie is, you know, when you see Martin Luther King, you go, that's a saint. You know, he's not attainable. When people see Thurgood Marshall, they go, oh, I could do that. I mean, I had a couple of young people go, you know, I'm going to go to law school. Because in this cynical age, you forget that, you know, you can use the law to make things better. And that's one of the nicest reactions I've gotten from the movie. People feel like, oh, I can make a difference. I can do good things.
You had a showing for the movie yesterday at the NAACP convention, and you said the reception was great, and I like how you described yourself sitting there with a checklist of, okay, they're laughing at the right time, they're panicked at the right time, they're happy at the right time.
They are. I mean, it's not because, I mean, again, one of the nice compliments I get from the movie is they go, oh, I had a good time. Was that okay that I laughed? Yes, I want you to laugh. I want you to be scared. I want you to... I mean, the movie theater goes from, like, you know, cheering to mad to pin drop silence. And then they'll roar, and you just go, yeah.
You know, there are still contemporaries of Thurgood Marshall, still maybe a couple of the older guys around. John Lewis. Have you talked to them? Have they seen it? And did they say you got it right?
It's funny. I just saw John Lewis at Comic-Con in San Diego. And I said, you know, I'm going to have a screening in D.C. soon. I can't wait for you to see it. He goes, oh, yeah, I loved Thurgood Marshall. You know, I can't wait to see the movie. So I really look forward to doing a screening in D.C. and invite members of Congress, the Supreme Court, you know, all those folks so they can see the film. In fact, a friend of mine who's a black Republican said, I really want to bring the Republican Congress in to see the movie and, you know, talk with you after. I said, great. I want, you know, he's a great American. Everyone should see the movie. Everyone should embrace him.
You know, it's gonna put a lot of really cool press. Not press. It's going to put a really cool spotlight on Baltimore and our efforts in the continuing struggle for civil rights. I went to the National Civil Rights Museum at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. And I can't tell you how proud I was to see displays on the Mitchells and on the Murphys. I'm going, that's Baltimore. You know, I mean, I get Shuttlesworth and Birmingham and other names that you know, but these are Baltimore folks. And I was so proud. And I'm getting the idea that's going to put a spotlight on the Mitchells, on the Murphys, on Baltimore.
Well, we don't do his whole life. We're just doing one section.
But still,
we try to work it. I mean, in fact, one of the great cases that Thurgood did is when he originally applied to law school, he was denied admission into University of Baltimore Law School. So he went to Howard Law School, and then as soon as he got his degree, he sued the University of Maryland and won and desegregated it. So that was, so literally the ink was not dry on the degree, and he was putting it to use.
And at the very end, where did he donate all his papers? The University of Baltimore.
There you go.
I mean, you know, talk about owning the end of the story.
Exactly.
Wow, very cool. It's a neat thing. And again, you may be logged on here, September, October. You may have already seen it. Here's the guy who took up. Well, okay. One more question about Marshall. We got to move on to a little bit of science fiction here. When you took on, as reporters, every once in a while you come up with a great idea. I got a great idea for a series. And they go, yeah, we want you to do that. And then you start doing it and you go, what was I thinking? This is really starting to get more convoluted than I thought. Did that happen to you with this movie, or did it just play itself right out?
This one was one of those perfect situations where everyone's rowing the boat in the same direction. You know, I got a call from a dear friend of mine, Paula Wagner. She's a major producer, works with Tom Cruise, and she goes, "I've got this script about Thurgood Marshall." I go, "Yes." I mean, I should read it.
But, you're already on board.
I mean, I almost named my son Thurgood, but I just thought that's a little too much weight. You know, that's a little unfair to the fella.
It's old school name.
So I read the script, and what excited me about it is that it wasn't cradle to grave. It was just one case, and it was a case that wasn't known, because everyone says, "Oh, Reggie, is it Brown versus Board of Education?" No, you learned that in 5th grade. You know how that one turns out. When you watch this movie, people are like, "What's going to happen?" I don't know. Do you think he did it? I don't know if he did it. And I love that. I love people leaning forward. You know, I love when they get caught, because they genuinely don't know, and that's the fun of it.
If somebody hasn't seen the movie, if they're watching this before the movie's out, give them the 30-second synopsis.
Thurgood Marshall has to defend a man who's accused of assaulting a woman and attempted murder. Did he do it? As they say when they shoot a black man, they go, "Well, he's no angel. You know, he's got a checkered past." So Thurgood has to figure out whether he did it or not, and if so, how does he defend this guy? Now, what makes it more complicated is the judge says, you cannot speak in the courtroom. And he goes, well, what do you mean? So, well, you're not a member of the Connecticut Bar. Says, and you know, so we're going to leave you in the courtroom to give the appearance of fairness, but you cannot speak, you cannot cross-examine, you just have to sit there. So the local attorney who he just met, you know, and he was just going to sign the guy in, it's this young Jewish attorney. He's never tried a criminal case in his life. And now this guy has to defend this incredibly controversial, complicated trial.
It's stunning. And here's a picture. I think that's probably Thurgood Marshall from the era, or maybe he would have been just slightly younger.
Right.
But what a debonair man.
Now, he was a debonair, dashing guy. Pretty Tony, as they say.
Pretty Tony. And a big presence. They're a tall man with a big... When he walked in the room, he took up the room.
Absolutely. And that's what's amazing about Chadwick Boseman's performance. Chadwick is so charismatic. He's so powerful. And you know, and what's great is that Chadwick, what intrigued him about the role was that he was gagged in the courtroom. So, and his thing is, look, acting is everything. Acting isn't just the words. Acting is commanding the scene no matter what.
Did you ever have did Chadwick ever have a conversation with you, just casual, maybe you're just sitting there eating lunch, of getting typecast as an actor who can only do portrayals? Because, I mean, he's done some big portrayals. As an actor, did you ever get the idea he just wants, here's some fiction, just do it?
Right. Well, you know, when we first sat down, we were looking for a project to do together. And I sent him the script, and his first instinct was, no, I can't do another, you know, true life figure, right? I need to take a break from that for a while. But then he read the script, and he says, okay, I'm 20 pages. He calls his agent. Okay, I'm not finished yet, but this is really good. I think I have to do it. Okay, I'm not finished yet, but I think I got to do it. And that was the thing. You know, he really loved the script. We wanted to work together. And so he kind of broke his own rule because he just really wanted to do it. And at the end of the day, it's really hard. I don't care if you're a director or if you're an actor, whatever, to find a movie that you just really feel on fire about. And that was the great thing. Everyone, you know, Chadwick, Josh Gad, Sterling Brown, you know, Kate Hudson, we all were just happy to be there, happy to be working with each other. It was just a fun set every day.
Cool. We need to morph in the time we have left into another movie, and I need to bring it up. You got to direct a Marvel movie.
Well, I did not direct it.
I thought you directed it.
I did not direct it.
What'd you do?
Well, here's the thing. In addition to making movies and stuff, I write comic books. So I wrote Black Panther for 5 years for Marvel Comics.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I'm sorry. I assumed. I just thought that.
I work hard, but I can't work that hard.
No. We've been, you know, sitting there talking Marshall and doing our homework on Marshall, and I thought, man, you wrote it.
Well, I wrote the comic book for 5 years. I actually wrote a year of Spider-Man, too. So, you know, guess it looks like fun. Why not?
It probably was fun.
It was fun.
Well, yeah. I'm going to tell you, I'm a gigantic fan of comics. And there's been such a resurgence. Have you been to the Jeppe Entertainment Museum here?
No, but I want to. Those guys are great guys.
Steve Jeppe.
Yes.
An awesome guy. Diamond Comic Distributors.
Yeah, no, I've met him. Again, great people, so central to the comic book industry. So yeah, no, I wrote the comic book, and then I did an animated series based on Black Panther as well. So I have a deep connection to the character.
Right, ties to the story.
Right.
There he is. I am so into comics. Hold on. I just knocked there. Come on, Marty. Sorry, this is live TV on tape. Black Panther. I had him up.
Yes.
I am so into comics. My favorite book is The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, a fictional book by a guy from Columbia, Michael Chabon, about two guys, an animator and a writer. And I have some serious ink on this leg, which I'll show you afterwards.
Have you seen his legs?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a tribute to the morning edition I did on the 25th anniversary of the show.
Awesome.
And it looks like a comic book cover.
That's very cool.
Dude, there's Black Panther right
I know.
there.
Look, I love me some Black Panther, and you know it's so great that Chad can play two superheroes, one fictional and one real life.
That's true.
And it's really great.
Mm-hmm.
You got to write comics.
Yes.
Okay, now, all right. So now you create the comic, you write him. Now you give it to another director. Did you guys talk about it, or were you like the father at a Little League game? Did you just sit in the stands and watch?
Do your own thing?
It's his thing. It's his movie. I'm not here to.
Come on, dude. You're a director. You got juice.
Which is why the only thing you can do is to walk away. Look, I mean, Ryan Coogler is a great director. I have not seen the movie. I'm sure it's going to be great. You know, I was making Marshall. I
get it. I mean, look at this guy. There's going to be a whole lot of this guy. Because he's cool.
The world has been waiting for this movie. It's going to be a big thing.
Yeah, there's so much buzz.
Yeah, there is a lot of buzz on it. He's a dark character. He's not unlike a Batman-esque character. I mean, he takes no prisoners.
No, he's a tough guy, but he's also this guy. He's sort of the African equivalent of Captain America.
Okay, how so?
Meaning that the way Captain America kind of embodies the best of America, you know, Black Panther is, you know, the best of kind of, a united Africa. You know, he's a guy, you know, Wakanda is a country that's never been conquered. And, you know, the idea is, you know, this is true. In Benin, they had metal alloys while people in Europe were still living in caves. So the idea of Wakanda is, what if that head start that they had never got broken?
Wow.
That was the premise that when I was writing the book. That's where I was coming from.
Wow.
Man, if I was you, I'd be practicing yoga and Zen. I'd be trying to calm myself down knowing somebody had my baby.
Is that how you think of it?
No, because of the.
Did you ever call up Chad? Did you ever call Chad? Yo, it's Reg. How's it going there? Did you ever do that?
No, here's the thing. I did not create Black Panther. Okay, so I don't own it. Here's the thing. When comic book, here's the thing. It's a mythology, right? And it happens over decades. And as the writer or the artist on it, it's like adding a patch to a quilt, right? You know, so it's like, here's my patch. People like my patch. People really love the book, and you know, and it sold great, and you know, I did an animated series, and people watched the heck out of that. So I made a contribution to the quilt.
You feel good,
but I don't own the quilt.
Someone else has to add their patch.
And I get that, but it's your patch that's being made. Just call me Thurgood. I got the bone in my mouth and it ain't coming out. They're making your movie.
Well, the exciting thing is, like, one of the things I added to the Black Panther mythology is the sister, Shuri. So, you know, it's like, wow, I made her up.
Is she in the movie
I'm
then?
so happy for you. I am so happy for you.
That's cool.
Just because I'm so into
character
comics.
You made up. Yeah.
You got to go to Jeppy. It will blow your mind.
I'm really glad you reminded me of that, because that might be my afternoon.
Oh, perfect.
We can pick up the phone right now and call Steve Jeppy. Legit. Steve's a good friend.
Because clearly, you're Mr. Baltimore. Let's be clear what's happening here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I mean, we'll talk when we get done with this presentation here. And I got to show you that tattoo. Listen, it's been great to have you here. We're thrilled you've been able to hang out with us. Because I got to be honest. You can ask our director, Gary Ryan. I said, you know, we got a big Hollywood director coming in here. The folks in the studio may say, you got 5 minutes and we're gone. And I'm glad we had a chance to sit here and hang out.
But to hang. I prefer to hang.
We're with you.
There we go.
We're with you.
Here we are on wait, give me the call letters again.
WJZ.
We're on WJZ.com.
CBSBaltimore.com.
We're at CBSBaltimore.com.
See that on the line over there? See him? Okay.
Yeah.
CBSBaltimore.com.
I don't want to get in trouble.
I tell you what, you're going to get us out of here.
I'll see Mr. Moves when I get back to L.A. I don't want him to go, what kind of call out was that, Reggie?
Tell us we said hi. I tell you what, you're going to go ahead and finish this out. Say something along the lines of, thank yourself, number one. It'd be kind of a little weird, but you can thank yourself. And then you're going to thank them for stopping by at cbsbaltimore.com.
Hi, this is Reggie Hudlin from cbsbaltimore.com. Thanks for stopping in. Be sure to share this with all your friends and relatives. And be sure to go see Marshall October 13th. And, you know, it's sad to go to the movies by yourself. It's okay, but it would be better if you brought your church group, if you brought your fraternity brothers, your sorority, your classmates, your gun club, your motorcycle gang,
everybody.
you know, your significant other, your side piece.
Own that camera.
Is that on the line?
Yeah.
Is that inappropriate? Okay, don't do that.
I'm getting ready to say, own this, jump through that camera, own this, and you roll out side piece. Oh, right. Okay. Thanks so much for stopping by CBS Baltimore.
Thank you.
Don't you tell Les Moonbus that you rolled out side piece on his network.
You know, I'm not here to judge others. I just want them to go see the film.
You're all inclusive.
I'm just here to say, it's a great movie.
Everyone come.
I want you to write a new comic called Side Piece. Imagine the action character you could create. Listen to this. Listen to the folks from New Line are going crazy. Listen to this, dude. Oh, the possibilities are amazing.
Yes.
Could be male, could be female,
That's
could
right.
be both.
That's right. Look, I'm, you know. See, this is how a joke comes to life.
Daddy, the new side piece will be at the grocery store today. Can we go get it? I can't wait. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
CBSBaltimore.com.